Where the heck were we? There we go. Alrighty. See how awake I am. Oh, my alarm. It says to stream. One step ahead of you, buddy. I should probably crack something open over here. Screen's up and running. There we go. All right, so I'm going to work on some metallics. You can see on your boy here, I've gotten started. I've got Rune Lord Brass that I'm using, which is really very interesting metallic color. I think it works really, really well with these lads. But that's not the only thing that I'm going to use on here. I need some other metallic for things like chainmail and things like claws. I'm actually going to use a speed paint. Oh, hoy, hoy. Excellent reference. Mr. Burns. Apparently that was going to be, that was what people used to say when they answered the phone long ago, which is why Montgomery uses that phrase. So I'm in a bit of a like weird shuffle with these models because some of them have all the red done, but not all the Rune Lord Brass done. Some of them still need red on them. I'm just gonna meander about, mainly just here to just be online and get stuff done. It'll be like one of them jams. Get some isopropyl going to keep my brushes clean. How are you doing, horror loving? You are well. Get a little bit more water in these cups. I have to empty these bad boys pretty soon. How do you handle evaporation? Just add more water. Oh my god, yeah, that thing looks terrible. All right. Here's what it is. Nice little synthetic brush. The Winsor Newton, but not horrifically expensive. This might not be the jam. I want this to be like dark, steely, metallic. But over black, it might not have enough backbone in it. Might be too dark. I think it is too dark. Good thing I have 80 million metallic paints. No, not plate mail, not dark emerald. Gunmetal. That sounds pretty good. Still a little bit of darkness in there. I could go with oils. Yeah. I'm not for these guys. Yeah, there's the sound of the rattling ball. I may mix a little bit of this in with the speed paint I was using, because the speed paint is like mega dark. Like, it's intended to go over white. So we'll see. God, this place is such a mess. Love it. Love it. There's the glop. Oh, good stuff. Scooch this back a little so I got a little room to play. I thought I popped this thing open. I really don't want the top of this paint to go flying off. We want to start that way. Oh, there we go. Work. Yeah, good stuff. Making a mess already. All right, that's good times. wipe some of this up so that next time this thing doesn't go quite so explosive on me. I swear I spend more paint on the mess than I do on the models sometimes. Leave that out. It's in a convenient spot. That over. Nice propyl on the hand. Give it a quick scrub. There we go. Unstable. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, get that mixed up. Now you're good dark. Dark but still shiny. Kind of like me. Let's try that again. Some of this ring mail. Yeah, that's better. Huron, you're such a mess. And you're painted okay, but your existence is pretty roughneck. I'm just gonna dab this in whenever I need it, because I gotta come back with some more brass afterwards for some of the details on it. He's got like this long chain loincloth and all kinds of doodads and gewgaws hanging off of it. It's got metallics inside. His wretched torso. I gotta hit the blades for show. For show. I do love the aesthetic of just like mega claw hand, just big old mitt. Hmm. How to attack. I feel like I'm missing a light. I am missing a light. There we go. Why is it so dark in here? I'm an auto fan and I know it. Good to see you, buddy. I'm a fan of yours as well. Just poking around here. Getting these blades lit up. And the back sides of them as well. I should spin this a little bit. Turn that over that way. The angle's a little bizarre, but we're getting at it. Forget that thumb. I think the best part of this model is that the thumb comes detached. He accidentally ordered 2 copies of Combat Patrol. Oh, good lord. Well, I don't think you'll ever need plastic again. I mean, it's interesting thing. Like, it's absolutely a collector's item, or or pile of items. So, like, if there is something to accidentally, yeah, you just might have to wait a little bit. Like, it's only going to appreciate in value, I would think. Like, I think there's going to be a brief period where everyone who did it specifically to like scalp them out going to be there fighting over the price. Who else is going to be staring out Slackjaw? Hey, Shiny Mew, how are you? It definitely seems like a collector's item. And like FOMO material in terms of like, man, I wish I had gotten that. Oh my God, someone's selling it. Get my hands on it. Got something to show me? Is it in show and tell? Yeah, scalpers are pretty terrible, but like buying an extra copy of something and hanging on to it for a while, like, especially if it's accidental, is like a different animal. So many tubes. Buddy, why'd you put yourself in this position? Not yet. Okay. This guy's so tubey. Tubey. Whole chunks of his leg missing, just like cybernetics hanging out. I wonder if I should add some rust. My day's going all right. Not too shabby. My sister is in town. She's staying with me. She's actually out. She took my truck into the city, hang out with some homies, but she's been here all week. We got a lot of stuff done. Alarmo. Let's see, extra screen. Boink. What in the? That's wild. Heck, you get that? Oh my God, that's so dope. That's so freaking cool. I love it. Absolutely love it. Sweet. I've definitely had the like, I think I'm buying one, and website absolutely falls over mid process. And it's like, surprise, you're getting two. Like, really? Really? All that redirect shit is just like extremely prone to poorly written code, strange happenings. Twitch. Twitch. You are absolutely gonna be drowning in plastic. I bet at some point you'll be able to offload the second one. Just let I don't know, whatever. It's like I'm not your lawyer, but like I sort of feel like just let the dust settle on all the folks that actually this is all going to be metal too. Um, Intentionally bought stacks of them. It depends on how you want to do it because most likely if you break the whole thing, it's basically like selling drugs. If you break the whole thing up, you're going to put the work in, break it all up, sell it separately. Probably the monetary efficient way to go. It'll take you forever. A lot of overhead, a lot of shipping. But it might just be one thing. Like if you can afford to sit on it, not the worst thing to sit on. Can it be? For he is the Kwisatz Haderach. Good to see you, Sector X. It can be. Catching up. Catching up on paint. Had my sister in town all week. Moved a bunch of stuff into the barn. I'm getting a new roof, so I don't have to worry. I can store more stuff in there now safely. I got to fix the door on it now. It's not closing proper. I mean, it's closing, but it's not really clicking over. That's annoying because I have grillions of dollars worth of Warhammer crap just sitting in there. So I kind of need the door to work properly. Not really an option there. All right, turn this guy this away. Oh yeah, he's got some chainmail right through here. Boop, 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 boop. Open tubes. Huron, you are such a mess. Poor guy. This guy's got to be in pain 24/7. Just shredded. Get the little vents inside here. Boop. Boop. You know, let's pull out some Rune Lord brass too. About to build 2 ghost keels. Make sure you get the pose right. Oh. Do you remember which Pokemon it was, or is that the kind of information that is largely irrelevant to you? Onion on his back, Bulbasaur. He's kind of a baller. He's got a sweet face. Yeah, Ghost Kill's fun. Ghost Kill is the one that I have. Yeah, it is. It comes in the patrol. Yeah, I locked it shut Pull the pilot out. Turned him into third leg Jim. 1.5 by 1.5. Oof. Seen bolt kill. Dude, he's got a lot of speed. Something to be said about painting blood letters tongues while listening to someone talk about Pokemon. Yes. Universes collide. Bulbasaur, man. Got attitude. Cool guy, though. I dig him. You know what? Maybe you're picking the wrong color. There we go. I dipped in the wrong thing. It's like, that looks like silver. You know what? That's because it was. Thankfully, this guy is such a train wreck of a human-ish being. I'm not sure it's going to matter all that much. This guy's all just broken parts. Broken parts, broken dreams. A lot of income. You know what? Yep, that's definitely a missed spot. Let me hit a couple of these little spikes while I'm here. I've got the paint on. Hey, centerfolded. Good to see you. Wiki Tongue Lord deep dive. Oh, you know what? I got this stuff on here. Might as well hit some of these little ornamental fiddly bits. Yeah, blood letters are pretty wild looking. I dig them. I dig them. Get this little octet on here. While I'm chilling out. I'll add some red to it later. Get the edge of it too. What else? What else? What else? What else? Okay, back to gunmetal. I'm actually really glad that I am mixing this now because I can make it a lot darker for some spots that are recessed a bit. So it'll have like a metallic look to it, but it won't be as shiny as all the stuff up front, which is good. If I decide to rust it in there a bit, take on an interesting hue. Then I can go back up to the shinier stuff for this pipe so that it stands out. It's like a nice piece of geometry. A couple of these other little gizmos and gewgaws that stick out. Not too bad. I'm gonna let him chill for a little bit. Put somebody else on the table. I did one of these and I liked it a certain way. Was that you, pal? That was. I left, that's right. The teeth and the actual blade edge will be gunmetally. What's up, Wolf? Am I getting a penalty? Penalty green potion? Touchdown? It is touchdown. Strangely enough, these are very 49ers colors. It's my team that I don't pay attention to anymore. But fitting. It's like says you need a permit for that staff. Get that a lot. That's fine. Tiniest little dabs of paint. Might need a second coat, might not, but it might. Front facing edge, overdo it a little bit. No regrets. F that. You definitely don't strike me as the kind of person who has absolutely gargantuan hands, where that's actually like the size of a Playburst crawler. Gugh. That's tiny town. That's epic scale. Yeah. It's like an epic scale Terminator. That's a dry brush and a wash, man. Brutal. I love it. That must have taken forever. It's just like, I mean, I guess it's good practice, but I would have need to have the magnifying glass out. Starting to wonder if in a couple of years I'll just like all the painting I do, with the exception of maybe some really big stuff, I'm gonna actually just be doing with either goggles on or a magnifying glass. Bulbasaur is dope though. Like your kid's got good taste. Bulbasaur's a little baller. Tried to teach her just use black, white, and green. Yep. Step up in layers. She wasn't that patient. Yeah. It's well, these it's gonna take more than one session and a lot of stuff, is just about you gotta get lucky with like mindset in the moment. And then also some of the shit you do just looks hella boring, dude. So I don't know. Like some of this hobby is just like I can imagine it is tough to like sit through and lesson it. I'm sure you're actually a really good teacher because you taught me a lot of stuff. But like it's not always go time. The neat thing is for young people, a lot of times it doesn't seem like it sunk in the moment, and then you find out way later that it actually did. Oh, this is like statement of the decade. This year, I'm going to start saving up so much money for a lot of stupid stuff and cool stuff. That is what I like to hear. That is a very wise statement. Do you have anything already on your list? Because, man, you had me at stupid and cool. Paint and trim, paint and trim. I'm out here painting all this trim. It's not bad, though. I'm not actually going to, very intentionally not going to paint all the trim brass. I want to leave a lot of it black. Like, I think I'm going to take this pauldron and just hit the outside edge and leave that, like, stripe. As is. What I want is paint on the side of this. I mean, when we're living our best, auditor, that is life. But sometimes we stray from the stupid cool stuff path a little bit. Gotta get back on the horse. Cool stuff, Tortuga Bay, STL stuff, stupid stuff. They're failed prints because it can be used for basing in the future. Also spare parts touching it. Yeah, no doubt. Basing bits all the way. So far, their failed prints are only 24 bucks, but you get around 100 grams of failed prints, which is still a lot. Wow, that's legit. So they just sell off like their failed prints. They just like throw them in a bag, like mixed lot bag, a la like reads like eBay. I got a bag of stuff. That's kind of neat. Better than chucking it. You can end up with a lot of gold in a situation like that. Like you really just sometimes need a tiny little bit of geometry that alludes to something and like no longer works for the overall piece, but it's still just the right hand holding half of a chainsword you can have sticking out of the mud. I bought a couple bags of Orky bits back in the day when I was getting started on that Stampa, and it has continued. I think I gave a bunch of it away too, but it's continued to pay off. Like orc bits are just like gold, pure gold. They also throw in the not up to their standard stuff, so it could be slightly off. Oh, that's cool too. Like, all right, so yeah, so basically anything that fails like the final QA pass, they chuck in. That's neat. And it's also kind of cool in that it lets you know that they actually like pretty rigorously QA their stuff. Like, They got standards they're trying to maintain. It's not just some bum trying to make a quick buck. But like if someone can make good use out of it, that's fantastic. Is there like is it a selection of stuff? Or is it like, hey, just give me a lot of fiddly bits? Like, could I be like, give me everything you got? Not everything you got, but like, give me stuff that was from this specific release of their stuff? Or is it just purely grab bag? Just anything, yeah. I mean, orcs genuinely are just like it's all just a mashup, which is great. Like orcs know what they're about. They're good lads. But a lot of little extras that are like genuinely orky are just really nice to have. Like a lot of those little plates that have like the very simplified orc face on them, or the like the lightning bolt for like, hey, this is an electrical box. Like having a bunch of those, just slap them anywhere and it looks good. I will get the bottoms of these, but not the tops. Keep enough black present. Hey, Depot. How's it going, buddy? Yeah, that knee pad's definitely going to get shinied up. I'm doing that. Favorite is the redo of some characters they don't make anymore. Oh, and thanks again for the sub, Depot. Good lad. Trim, 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 trim. Keep it gangster. Go. Big old shiny knee pad time. Then I may switch over to gunmetal again. Hit all this. This guy's got a lot of chain going on too. It's in the chain gang. Yeah, it's got a good shine to it. Shine them up. Side of the skull a little bit better. It's always funny as you spin these around. You're like, oop, there's a spot. There's another spot. It's all trimmed up. Fist really does not stand out at all. So if I gunmetal that section, I'll probably be okay. Let's get this guy's face mask. Get some paint on the side of this. They redid the sergeant guy from Legion of the Damned, captain character for Ultramarines. They did that one apothecary with the blood cup, along with some 30k style character and Thunder Warrior Psyker. Sweet. What's up, Moth? Well, well, well. If it isn't you. Get a good look at how this guy's. That's actually the guy's flesh. Yeah, it is. All right, sweet. Chill out on that. I too am working on heads. Yeah. It's I have not crossed that line where I'm like, I like working on heads now. Still don't. Still a little challenging to the point of frustration, but certainly looks cool when you nail it on one of them. You're like, look at that. Look at that guy's face. Look at that crazy heretic lady. Her smile. Like when you get it, man, it's extremely validating. It's gonna be brown down there. Ah, the spikes. It's the spikes. Super gentle with these bad boys. Tiny little nubbin. Get the other side. Badger. I did finally get back to you on the bits bit. Be careful with that rotary tool. You're gonna find. Well, I mean, or don't. But like, I wouldn't worry about injuring yourself. That's not be careful about it. You're gonna start using that thing all over the place. Like if you find anything in your home that is remotely hangnail like in terms of construction, be like, you know what? I'm gonna run a drill bit over this thing and be done with it. It's not a bad thing, per se. But I've used that little guy all over the place. See, I don't need to raid here because everyone is already over here. Yeah, that's a pretty nice compliment. We're definitely like the dudes from the town that all show up to the same bar. That's for sure. I like it that way. Norm. Little electrode thing with a little brass. This one. Here we go. You're getting there. Narrative games, Thunder Warriors escaping from a specific wink wink, someone's museum. There's a heck of a lot of museums out there. 43 days ago, sectors, this mini had no paint on it. Fight their way. Yeah. I would love to see it. I probably would buy like a kill team of Thunder Warriors. That'd be a lot of fun. Trazen was. I don't know if he was like in that tiny little era of 30K, but he's absolutely like gone back to Istvan because it's like there's a mention that he goes to like Istvan 5 because it's like a treasure trove of helmets and parts that still haven't been picked clean. I mean, speaking of Pokemon, Trazen is like a completionist collector. So like if it can be had, he must have it, which is kind of neat. Like, does he have one? It's like, which one does he have on display is probably more the point. All right, let's be nice and gentle with this stuff. It's gonna be a little flowy. Don't want to accidentally hit any of the stuff that I've already done an okay job with. I went back and watched some of, not the whole thing, because I was in between things. Some of the movie Twins. Um, well, he's not really like a chronomancer. He has some ability to manipulate time, but not like Doctor Who style. Um, so like I don't think he actually like goes, gonna go back in time. Huey Lewis in the News style. Um, I think he's got like some degree of like manipulating outcomes and like getting re-rolls on situations, but I don't think it's like pure like go through the loop enough times and just like collect the same helmet 30 times. I don't think he's got like that kind of juice. And in Infinite and Divine, the Infinite and the Divine, there's even like a joke where he's like, even though he's like computer brain, he gets confused between all of the different chapters of Space Marines, and like this one's heraldry is like a yellow hawk on a red background, but this one's like an orange hawk on a crimson background. Sort of gets a little bit of yuck 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 with that going. There's a decent amount of, not even a decent amount. I actually made a whole video on this once. A lot of the Infinite and the Divine, I maintain, is just like a straight up like love letter to war gamers. There's a lot of like meta fan service stuff that goes on in that book where it's like you're reading about a plot, but what he's really describing is how gamers function. Like some elements of the trial that Trazen and Orican are on very much play out like rules lawyering in a tabletop game. And I don't think that that's accidental. And his collection of items is very much like that shelf back there, and like laying them all out in ways that are like interesting battles from the past. Being confused over whose heraldry is who is like absolutely just like a nod to the fact that like there's so many different chapters. It's a, if you go back and read the book again and read it as like meta commentary on being a gamer, essentially you've got Trazen, who's very much the like, I collect these models because I like them, and these ones are powerful and all this stuff, and I take really good care of them. And Orican's very much the meta rules guy, who's always like, he doesn't care about what he's using as long as it's the most powerful thing right now. And that is like one of those sort of dichotomies of player types in Warhammer. Like the person who's like, I gotta have this whole army versus this is the rules meta right now. I don't have any personal attachment to them, but this is what I'm going with because I know it's the best. It's the best odds, really. It's pretty cool. And it's too much in there to be like accidental, in my opinion. I think the author definitely meant it. Yeah, it's Trayson is very much rule of cool. Even though some of the stuff is like amazingly powerful, like it's like I have to have this model in my collection. You know, it's a Catan shard. Plot wise, I have a little bit of history with that, but gotta have one. Gotta have one. And Orican is definitely like, I got this internet list. It's too tempting, man. It's too tempting. But yeah, like the risk of it is like, well, you're gonna be there for the rest of time now. Like the man don't mess around. Get this belt with some shine. Some shine on this belt. God bless you, Chaos Space Marines, and your massive belt buckles. Everything's bigger in the warp. The stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of the warp. All right, hands, don't fail me now. Wonder if there's a way that I can get that hand to stand out a little bit better. Yeah. If I thin dab a little bit of this metallic stuff in between the fingers, I think, though I don't know, may make some stuff stand out a little bit more. Yeah, that's good. That's good enough. It was definitely cool reading what is it? Not Fabius Bile. Um Belisarius Call, some of his books. He's like he's got some like I didn't read any of the ones where he actually interacted with Trazen, but it was like after the fact, and he's like, yeah, that guy was pretty cool. That's like Belisarius referring to him. The genius squad running around the 41st millennium is just like pretty interesting to keep up with. All the egos. And they did Fabius Bile all right. Um Lorgar, Alpharius, Magnus will go back. It certainly like I mean the nice thing is as a plot device, it's just like, you know, it's just ripe and waiting. Like if there's a book about that dude's museum, like I'm gonna if I find out about it, I want to get my hands on it just because it's like an interesting everything about it is like sets an interesting premise, I guess is where I'm going with that. All right, Holy Hand Grenade. You're in brass too. Brass grenades in this army. Stars at night are big and deep in the heart of Texas. Get this guy off the lift for a minute. Somebody else. Yeah, I'm curious to see like where the next couple profound plot points will go, because like the Gilliman Mortarian thing like predates me being involved in playing. But like that's pretty profound stuff. I wonder like what the next super big thing is. GW should just do some hero battle box set that's just Trayson's collection and give it an official Thunder Warrior too. Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be really good. I would love it. And frankly, they could kill team it as like, you know, put Trayson in a kill team with like a motley crew of shit he's got stored up. That'd be kind of fun. You just do it like, whoop, here's your box. Let's make Trayson his own faction. Big enough deal. Fan favorite. But I definitely wonder, like, what the next big turn is. And I would guess it probably has to do with, like, a Primarch coming back. Somebody waking up. I mean, the Lion coming back is, like, is that the most recent kind of big turn? In terms of, like, book leads to model. I mean, I know they're always supporting stuff like, you know, Emperor's Children, I think, had a book or two out fairly recently. But, like, that's not the same thing as, like, Gilliman waking up. It's not the same thing as. I wonder what the next big thing is. Certainly curious. Like I would guess cadence wise, like end of this year they start building up to it. They're due. They got the line. I mean, there's a ton left in this year, and they did call it like the year of chaos. So who knows what else is in store. But it was like very intentional naming, and obviously like Emperor's Children, pretty important. An extra Death Guard guy, kind of cool. Would be neat if there was additional Death Guard book coming at any point. But like less so than the models. I'm curious about story arc of what's new in the Chaos Zoo. Nice work. Thanks for the sub, buddy. It would be interesting to get like a Lorgar update. The guy's just been chilling. I mean, did I get that right? Like the Emperor's Children are in a neat spot because like Bile's gotten plenty of books. Fulgrim does make an appearance in them. Fulgrim's like mostly just chilling. Just on Pleasure Island. But that, I mean, that's just like, he can come out at any time because like the plot doesn't have to all be timely. I'm curious. It'll pop up as like a Gilliman the fight Mortarian. Like that's big. Plague Wars stuff was big, big. After some Space Wolves get announced at Nova or LVO before next edition and tie into the next Primarch. I mean, if that is the next Primarch, I got laid off January 1st. Oh, my guy. I thought I would have a job in days. This whole government destroying. Well, need has hampered me tremendously. I've been unemployed since May. I feel you, man. I mean, it's it's the weirdest time I've ever experienced in 20 years to be doing what I'm doing, and it's like desolate out there in terms of jobs. Desolate. Well, he's not supposed to be there till the end times, but like, hey, maybe it's time to do the end times. I mean, you could stretch the end times out for 20 years of content. I mean, it is the end times. It's perpetually, yes, thank you, Rykos. It is. He was born for this. He's actually late for the end times. I do know what you mean, though, like full on Ragnarok, but like Ragnarok, when you think about it, really is 40K. Yeah, the end times can be forever. It's true. I mean, that is the horrifying vision of the future they talk about in 30K. Oh, who was it? It was it Basilius Foe when they run into him the first time, and it's Horus that runs into him. He's like, I think I read about this guy from like way back in the day. The fact that he essentially got banished from Terra because he was like such a freak, genetics freak, doing like really creepy stuff. And his boy, that's oh, guys gonna have to help me here. His guy that's like leading the attack on Foe's planet because they will not uh, bend the knee. Is the dude that dies and then Loken takes his place in the Morn Vault, I believe. Horus goes to help him out because it's not going good there. They finally capture Foe, and he's like, "Yo, man, I just make like delightful, freaky things, like a huge, night-sized thing that's made out of like 400 people, and it's just a bunch of like screaming faces and weird claw things." And you guys, by that I mean Primarchs and Space Marines, are like the true horror because you guys could destroy the universe. Like it's an interesting take. He's like essentially saying like, "Yo, man, I just make fun toys, but like my shit can't take over and change the entire universe. You guys are the real horrifying thing." He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. Like the fact, part of the reason a bunch of people part ways with the Emperor in the 30K era and leading up to it, is because like we think about the Space Marines as like, oh, that's a pretty cool idea. You got to defend yourself against the universe, but like they really are just like, man. Hey, Doctor Doll. Um, Space Marines are like a pretty extreme, like total total war um, solution. It's funny. Doctor, are you talking about me or the model? Could be either. Could be either. Fun with brass, fun with brass. Centerfolded, you're on fire. Both. Yeah, good answer. Very good political answer. We'll say, as far as times to be unemployed, making good use of it. But it's starting to think like I really need to have my own means of monetary production, not rely so much on the job market as a whole. Side hustles. Where it's at. And if I get enough of them, I'll be all right. Like this week, I got a contract gig doing curriculum development, started that up. Those meetings are at 9 a.m. Hence, well, I'm not really on at night all that much. But like, it's not a forever job, but it's a really cool gig. And like hopefully keeps me in the black. Space Marines are like beyond a safety measure though. Like if everything hadn't gone wrong and gotten all blown up, the few things that happen, we're gonna be on like 3 threads now. It's gonna be awesome. So if you think about both the Primarchs and the Space Marines, both of them have serious problems when they get started up. And were it not for those problems, like those are just like I could print out infinite ultimate destroyer things and just basically be like Tyranids. We're just gonna gut. Well, I mean, essentially, the Imperium is like the Tyranids. They just run around gobbling up. Um, I just read Sectrix's line, gobbling up the universe. Think about 40k lore. When you first get into it, you think Space Marines and the Empire are the good guys. I didn't even think that, Doctor Doll, but that's just because I knew my Death Guard soul before I knew it was what it was. Knew, but your point is very well made. Sectrix, why wasn't Magnus wrong? Someone has to chase Elon down. It's true, man. It's true. Miati, I totally forgot about the dice. Totally forgot about it. For a while, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll finish up Sectrix's model and then I'll do all my mailing I gotta do. Totally forgot about it. Totally forgot. Thank you for reminding me. Oh, let's do some ad placement. Best viewers on streamboo.com. Remove the space. I have the best viewers. All the best viewers right here. We corrected the timeline. We convinced Sectrix to be a dad and paint miniatures and stop developing Skynet. Humanity was saved. The only one who was right in Warhammer is Lorgar. I mean, I 100% like Lorgar's funny because he's supposed to represent the sort of like super like I never think I'm good enough, so I screw up a lot of stuff along the way because of my lack of confidence because I'm not Horus. But man, he got did so bad, so bad. I have to go find my coffee and take the dog out. Go for it, buddy. Kill the bad aliens, keep the good ones. It's true. I mean that like right out the gate is like it's because the Emperor just wants everything. Like human supremacy is much harder to do than and that policy really screwed things up. Like Fulgrim has in the book Fulgrim, I think it's in the book Fulgrim, has like this very early interaction with a bunch of space elves, and like he's so indoctrinated, and what's the term the kids use? And such a simp at that time for the emperor that like he screws up any opportunity for negotiation when they tell him the future. He gets all cranky. It's like, come on, boy. Wouldn't it be nice to be told the future? Fulgrim's just like such a pathetic hot mess. And he's supposed to be, and like that's good. That's like good for the story. It's like one of those like you need one absolute people say that like Horus is a narcissist, but he's not. Um Fulgrim is the real narcissist. I think the Emperor's Children models are fantastic. They're awesome. I'm not going to get any anytime soon because I got other stuff to do, but there will definitely be a unit or two of Emperor's Children in my Chaos Space Marine crew eventually. And then I imagine, especially bolstered by the knight I have that is dedicated to the new god. I'll probably end up with like 1,000 points at some point. I mean, I also have Fabs and a crew for him to lead as well. So I think I'll get there, but um I'm not jumping on it. Put it that way. But I think the models look absolutely fantastic. I think they had a really big challenge ahead of them with giving them a unique enough style given how very specific the like dedicated chaos stuff looks, and like they're unmistakable, and that's awesome. You know, Thousand Suns, unmistakable. You know, the big old Egyptian looking top hats, like World Eaters. Absolute, like the World Eater models look so World Eaty that they just eat worlds, and I think they absolutely did that with the Emperor's Children. Funniest thing you could do, because I can see you doing it, is paint the Perfection Emperor's Children as Death Guard. Oh my god! I did think about that when I saw like the faces, like there's a very real chance that I'll take some of like if I do like legionaries or whatever. I don't even remember like what units they are, but like quite often it's like here's with helmet on, here's with helmet off, and some of the helmet off ones, like some of them are like half Vox into stretched face. Um, some of those things done instead of like fleshy colors and more like greeny, absolutely like awesome body horror death guardy stuff. Potential there, potential for sure. Yeah, some of those stretchy faces may find their way onto some death guard models. And yes, you know me quite well. I am me. That could happen. I definitely thought it when I saw a bunch of them. All right, little nubbins, little leather armor nubbins. Little dab of water on here, just to smooth things out a little bit. Some of these I'm hitting better than others. This guy's got a little Stylized doohickey on his gun. Get that. Old brassy. Half your models are rappers. Put your legs in the air like you just don't care. I do like rap. Not gonna lie. Them legs, man. It's tough work. Everybody's got to be challenged with something. It's my cross to bear. Still, though, man. How many times have you seen a ghost kill in full run? One of a kind. Yeah, there's more to do on this Schwad. Hmm. This little box. I gotta get this little box. Whatever it is, the exhaust box on the chainsword. I have seen one. Exclusivity, man. That's where it's at. I'm sorry. If I was an Imperial Guardsman and a Ghost Keel was charging at me full run, I'm pretty sure I'm getting shot by the Commissar for cowardice. Like, oh my god, there it is. But especially because, like, they're pretty quiet. And all of a sudden it's there. Makes me wonder what I should start next soon as I finish my Chaos Demons World Leaders. I'll tell you what I'm find myself strangely liking more and more is Gene Stealer cults. For weeks, every time I went to pee, I thought of your third leg gym on that base. Yeah, they are partially invisible. So good. Third leg gym. Living legend. The man, the myth, the legend. Right, yeah, let's get this arm. That model's legit. But yeah, Gene Stealers, just because I've been playing them and Tacticus, man. And my buddy Will, who's in a combat patrol league, which I failed to join. Greenleaf, good to see you. Yeah, um, Will absolutely crushed Space Wolves in his first week, and then got put through the rock grinder by Gene Stealers in his second week. And I feel like I would very much enjoy the style of play of like suicide troops in the first couple turns, resin them and having them pop up elsewhere. Like, I think I could get down with that. setting traps, being cagey, being a bunch of union workers that are fed up with the Emperor and decide to essentially pray to the Devourer. I love how diluted they are. Come on, pizza, arrive already so I can drown my week in your cheese and do something for fun. Yeah, it's funny. On Fridays, I almost always get pizza, and my sister's here, so I was like, all right, I'll just make dinner, and she's vegan, so I cooked vegan, and I made this like smorgasbord, and actually came out like really, really good, and it was actually filling. It was like tofu, two kinds of fake meat, bunch of vegetables, bunch of teriyaki sauce. So good. The Warforged game has tempted me with those different factions. Yeah, Warforged's pretty neat. Um, so there's two card games. I think they're by the same people, or at least they're pretty close. And I ended up Warforged, and the other one, Warforged is not the 30K one, is it? Warforged is the 40K one. I ended up playing a bit more of the 30K one. But both interesting games. Fish people with guns and cone heads with guns. Yeah. The I ended up leaning more on the Heresy one, but I did play Warforged for a while. And it's interesting that like through a entirely different game model, you can get the feel of something and be like, maybe I would like to paint a bunch of these hosers, take them for a ride. I mean, it's been all Tacticus really that has like gotten me interested in them, and I didn't think I was going to level up any of their characters, and then like I got a couple, and the like crossover into NIDS with them is interesting to me. I like collabs. So who knows? And I I like shit that's funny, and all the models where it's like I'm a semi-normal looking guy except my fucking head is like ballooned out. I love that stuff. Absolutely love it. Weird brainiac stuff. Like I got a dumb extra arm and a huge bulbous skull. This is the life for me. I also like the fact that like a lot of them just have very normal names. Like they were just some dude. Like one of the characters I have, his name is just Isaac. Like yeah, he's got more to his name after that, but like how he appears in the game, just Isaac. He's apparently a pretty important guy, but it's not like the Latinized like Isaacus, Ultramarine. My name is blah 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 blah. It's like, all right. He's just like, my name's Isaac. I got a big fat noggin. Praise be. But I love their vehicles. I love their overall theme. I don't think I love all the models. I don't think I do, but they might just be derpy enough to woo me at some point. At least it'll also be just like he has a normal name too, I bet. I think he's in Tacticus also. Where's my Tacticus? That's like the splash screen. I just unlocked the Plague Burst crawler, and I could not be happier in this game. It's been like a solid month of Death Guard stuff, maybe even more, maybe like 6 weeks. A little rough to keep up. So apparently, you can unlock Dante soon. Dante! This guy. Holland? Does the guy look like this? That dude. He's a pretty cool guy. He doesn't have a little hand. He summons one of those dudes with like rebar with a piece of concrete on the end. At least in Tacticus. I don't know how Tacticus is. Well, I guess I sort of do free to play because I've spent some money on it. So take my opinions with a grain of salt. But I do know a lot about free to play games, and I would say it's pretty good, but like you are absolutely playing in a different league than people who spend. But that is like generally true of most free to play games. Um, and so like you're gonna end, but the thing is that like at the end of the day, like you'll just be competing against people that are at your same level of spending, even if that's zero. Um, like it's a very like league based game, and so like the guild that you're in, you can absolutely do a ton of, they do a decent amount of stuff in terms of making non-payers able to contribute. um yeah, both Warpforged and their 30K game is actually pretty decent in terms of just playing it free to play. I unlocked some Death Guard content because I didn't feel like waiting for it in the 30K one, but it is not bad. But in Tacticus, there's a decent chunk of things that like. So there's a Guild War system, and there's a bunch of nodes on a map, and you don't know what's in one of them until you've defeated what's adjacent. And each one of these nodes has two players from a guild in it with like several rosters of guys to fight. And um, even if you're not high level, you can just like try to grind down the enemy as long as you do damage to any one of the units in the enemy squad, which is not a given, because there's some units that are pretty good at healing, and you could just get like totally outmaneuvered. If you don't get tabled in the first seconds, you automatically shave like 10% off of the top of that unit's efficacy, which means the high level people in your guild can do the very 40k thing of sending the lower level people in first to just flood the enemy and just grind them out, and then show up later and like take on the higher level stuff. Basically, if you don't pay at all, you might actually be fine with this. If you don't pay at all, you're very much at the mercy of randomization for what units you get. But if you like Warhammer as a whole, um, then you'd be like, oh, like that's okay. I'm pretty cool with like I got a couple decent, Sisters of Battle. I'll use them. I won't take it personally, even though like they're not my favorite faction. In my case, I definitely spent in to get my hands on Death Guard because I wanted to play as them, and I leveled them up more than I ever had um, to keep making progress. I don't I've pretty much stopped spending on the game. I spent a little bit with the Plague Burst crawler coming out, um, but not a ton. But it's I find it very fun. Like just the core play and the amount of events you have to do is pretty good. But there's absolutely a layer of like this person's a payer, this person's not, and they're just kind of in two different leagues. think I'm supposed to be over here. Why am I not seeing? I'm seeing part of the chat over on this side. That's bizarre. But on the screen, I see the rest. Hey, dude. Here soon, I'm going to post my newest Space Marine on Discord. Sweet. Badger's got something. Look at this. Look at this business. Bonk. That is crisp. Crisp. And good to see you, JMB. I think I was completely ignoring all of the Facebooks. I had the wrong window open. Like a chump. That is like crispy. Who is that guy? Nice mug, by the way. That was from like long ago. Badger since left. Joined the Foreign Legion. Just caught up with that now. Little bloop. Yeah, no, I noticed that was Badger. But I popped over there and was like, oh, there's a thing from 10 o'clock. Shows you just how with it I am. What do I want to do? Flip this thing over. Yeah, sure. We'll brass up this pauldron a bit. Make that hand stick out a little bit more. Paint. This cross streaming, hitting Twitch and YouTube at the same time is definitely, it's cool. I have to remember that I'm doing it. I have the entire wrong chat. Well, not wrong, but only half the chat open. Yoink. My professionalism always on display. But yeah, I enjoy Tacticus. Like the battles themselves, the content that they put out, like it is engaging. It makes you think about how you're gonna play the different units, well, different models technically. I put the most effort obviously into Death Guard, but like I'm pretty solid with most Chaos. I'm weakest right now with Thousand Suns. Just like haven't felt like going as crazy. But my Chaos Space Marines are pretty good. But it does like encourage you to play broadly. There's some systems in there where like if you spend time with either Xenos, Imperial, or Chaos, you're getting currency for the other ones. So it does encourage you to jump around, which I think is pretty cool. All right, let's get some chivalry metallics in here. Yeah, this brush is hurting. This guy's gonna need some some help. Some deep cleans. Do, 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 do. Go back over here and see what the health is like. Is this video buffering? I wonder. Apparently my connection's not great. Not sure what's up with that. So be it. This model's cool. You're a cool guy, buddy. Cool, cool guy. I figure out once again the eternal Chaos Space Marine issue is which Legion is that skull sticking on the back of his power pack. I have to figure that out. Who's the lucky winner? Quite often, I mean, basically, I've only ever gone Ultramarines or Salamanders, but maybe that guy is a Space Wolf. Tough question because they're in various states of doneness. Legit, like I haven't finished any of them yet. I think, I don't know. I don't know how much work I have. Like this guy, all of them need leather work. Thankfully, they're like all of their trim isn't getting done en masse. All of them have some sort of detail that I got to hit, like that guy's helmet and whatever. But these aren't as detailed as doing like straight up Chaos Space Marines. So, you know, these 3 or 4 guys are about as close. I would say like the other 6 still need a decent chunk of time and effort. That said, they keep going faster because I start like understanding what I got to hit on them. But I am not in like an old school. Frost blue. Not an old school like I'm painting 30 Poxwalkers zone. Yeah, it is good. And I'm certainly not like, oh, I wish I was going faster. Don't care. But there's like as I look over here, like one guy's got nothing. So like 3 other guys have like their reds done. There's work to be done. And Huron is obviously going to get like more love than any of his jabronis. And I can't forget his little buddy, Bielsa, whatever his name is. Little Bubs. I could probably put this back. It's like Jack Blue or something. All right, while we're here, we'll just get a little dab of water. Yeah, that'll look cool. Space Dog. Just get a couple base coats of frosty blue on there, and I could just add a bunch of blood to it later. This needs to be thinned out. Oh. wee bit more. There we go. Space dog. Good doggy. I should just let that dry. Let me take a good hard look at this. Focus is a challenge. I'll go over some sections of this with a little bit of metallic and a little different color of blue to sort of highlight a bit. But just getting the baseline in there to start is a good thing. Of course, he's got his like rotten face inside there because he's been chilling up on the shoulders of greatness for quite some time. All right. Good enough for now. Good enough for just a first base coat. It's definitely going to need more than one coat. Doing like frost blue on black, a little bit of work. A little bit of work to be done there. All right, metal, 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 metal. A little bit more over here. He's got some like tubes and such. Block scroll a little bit. Scribble on there a little. Those, got those, got those. There's a little spot he's hiding. Backside of his horns. I see it now. I see it. I see it now because I missed it before. Did I get that? No, I did. Good, 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 good. Get my double vision on. Good, 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 good. Ship it. Oof. This guy's pretty interesting. Get some more Rune Lord brass out. Delish. All right, we're going to clean this brush up a little bit. This guy's been through hell and back. Let this guy actually just soak a minute with some isopropyl on him. A couple sips of coffee, chill back, relax, make yourself at home. Then we'll get to work on this dude. These guys are going to look very, very fun on the table for sure. Good solid crimsony red, black, a little bit of brass, a little bit of silver. Classy. It's now in show and tell. Oh, your timing's impeccable. Get this screen up. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That lad. Those helmets just look really rad. I mean, I love the fact that the Chaos ones ended up with like tusks on them, which is like cool. But like these helmets, just like you look that guy in the face, well, in the helm, it's terrifying. You got a lot crisper. Fun dude. Very cool. A heck of a lot to heck of a lot of fun to crank these out. I haven't done a purity scroll in quite some time. Not since my sister, so like a year and a half. Dope. Very cool, man. Wait a second. Yeah. Also of note, thoroughly thoroughly on display the brush cleaning soap. Very nice. Very nice. Background details matter. All right, brush. Are you clean? Are you feeling clean? Run your fingers through it. There you go. For synthetics. You know what I'm gonna do? Take that dry eyes. I live again. Dab the eyes with the tissue. Yeah, this hobby, man, is just so good. You're getting crisp though. I love it. Good details in there. So much fun. The fact that you get to set these lads down on a table and roll terribly for them and get them all totally butchered turn one or turn two, just like the icing on the cake. Once again, stellar belt on this guy. Yeah, Space Marines definitely go belt shopping. Yeah, belt looting for real, man. Shopping in quotes. But you got to figure like that whole essentially like roguish pirate lifestyle. You got to be doing some shopping here and there. There got to be places you drop in. I mean, especially like Huron basically has like a spaceport that all these other chaos war bands show up at to like buy, sell, trade whatever they can, and they have to keep it pretty chill. It's like Moss Isley, like yeah, it's full of a bunch of dirt bags, but you better keep it chill. There won't be any place to shop later, or Huron will just have your head. A little bit of respectable going to, not like going to J.C. Penney, but a little bit of proper trade that happens. Got to get the, got to treat yourself every once in a while to fine amenities. I mean, the thing is, they definitely did not loot them from Ultramarines. I can tell you that much. Did not loot them from fists. They're not Codex compliant belt buckles. Gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with this blade. And I might actually end up doing it in like a brass or another color because I want it to stand out from all the chainmail that's underneath there. And it's not gonna if I do it in gunmetal. Oh, big old knee pad. There you go, buddy. We'll brass you up. He's getting there. The shiny bits are starting to shine. This fist is going to be fun. I'm going to brass the daylights out of that. Whatever that means. These little shoe spots. Well, bell bottoms cuffs on the inside are always a little challenging. Gotta keep rotating things so you find a good angle. Just keep working. His grenades. Holy hand grenade of Antioch. Go. He's got a chain that goes across. It's probably going to be brass, but I'm going to wait on that. I think what I'll do is I'll get in there. Do that now. Get in there with the like gunmetally chainmaily stuff first. Give that a few minutes to dry. Think about what it's done. go back over the other bits that are a little further out with brighter colors. Did you ever find your way into a Dark Vengeance Hellbrute? No, I still have not gotten one. It is, it's gotta happen. It's gotta happen. But it has not happened yet. That saddens me a little bit. Not a sore subject, though. Happy to have you bring it up because it actually kind of reminds me a little bit that maybe I should be keeping my eye out. Not that I have the money to afford anything right now, but I should keep an eye out. It's such a cool pose. It's like required Trazen collection material. Just have it for my collection. Yeah, it'll happen. Yeah, I do. I gotta find one at some point. They're like, it's just, I love Hellbrutes too much. But I've got two now. Two. One that still needs a desperate amount of work on it. It's basically just metallic right now. And if I get a third, it's just going to be the old school dope pose. Do you have one lying around? That would be exceedingly kind. And I wouldn't stop you. But you do. Are you actually Trazen? Is that who I'm talking to right now? Like Trazen would get 2 copies of Combat Patrol magazine. Just saying. Not trying to out you. You don't have to. We don't talk about that. Like that's another one where like I feel like every once in a while they should just do limited runs of that model, or just I don't know why they don't just run it. So good. It's got that like gangster lean while he's shooting. So good. All right, this part's a little dangerous. I'm gonna get a little bit more paint just so I've got some amount of thick stuff on the palette right next to this. Not really dry brushing, but I'm just going to be dabbing these spikes a little bit. So it looks like a little bit of brass is coming through. I just don't want to go too far. And I generally fuck these guys up, so just a little. Just the tips. And because they're not conical, you have to like approach from one angle and approach from another. Yeah, see there, I went a little bit too far. If you do it right, that tiny little bit of metallic on there goes a long way. Just gotta take your time with it. A tiny little dab of relatively thick paint, but just so little of it. You're not splashing around, but you are getting coverage. Just keep spinning this motherfucker around. And I did just get the limited edition Eldar Autark from the 2006 Army Box, so there's that. That's a very Trazen. See? I mean, you said we don't talk about it, but that is a very Trazen-y line to drop. to spin this thing a little bit. There we go. Now I can plant my pinky on here and have a little bit more leverage. Of course, the light plays little tricks on your eyes while you're doing this crap. Get them all? Sorta. You're gonna find out tomorrow that I didn't get them all? Kinda. 5 more heads, a few more washes, maybe some touch up, and these Jaegers are finally done. Will that make you a Jägermeister? Wish you guys were in here to high five. One to play with, one to collect, and one and a spare. That's not a bad call. Jägermeister Meister Burger. Speaking of Meister Burger, as much as my dinner was good, it was still vegan. One of the things that always happens to me is about 3 to 5 hours later, I'm like, I really could go for some meat. My wife's not vegan, but she has a really good dish that she makes. I was like, the only thing that would maybe kick this up another notch would be adding some bacon to it. But is what it is. The question is, what am I going to do about an octet that is recessed in there? Can I hit that? Maybe I'll just hit that with some like red ink. See if that lightens up a little bit. Yeah, let's just give that a try. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Let's make a mess. Ah, yes. My sweet, sweet blood scarlet red ink. This bottle. Oh my god. I think it's just been breathing out. This thing is such a mess. Oh my god, so crusty. It wasn't even screwed on there right. There we go. You're so dangerous. Maybe I need to shake it a little bit. Just a dab. It's almost like orange now. If it's an okay shape. Cap doesn't really saddle all that well on it. Bright AF. Hey, Mingo. How you doing, buddy? We'll just try to get a little bit of these bright ink in, sitting in that little crevasse. We'll just guide a little bit of it around. Hopefully it'll stand out a little bit. Just got to get enough in there so that as it dries, you got enough pigment. That'll look cool though. Dig it. Come to you from the 20th floor of a hotel in NYC. Ooh. How's Night in the City loud? I was just rapping with my wife the other day. Like, I actually sleep better in a city than I do in rural suburban spots. Like, my early college years, I was in like Boston proper, and like, I don't know, for some reason, like being up several floors and hearing sirens go by like keeps me sleepy. Absolute silence kind of messes with me a bit. Well, I appreciate that, Mingo. What do you what are you doing in New York? Is it just vacation? Work or play? I won't keep you long because obviously, like, I hope New York City's more exciting than me. Sleep better if the bed wasn't so terrible. Yeah, that'll happen. We'll try a little experiment on this guy. Ah, wife's birthday weekend. Wish her a happy birthday from me. Try to just drop a little ink inside the crevasses of this hand to see if it helps make things stick out a little better. And I think it's gonna. It's gonna be subtle because it's red on black. But if it hugs, yeah, it is working. Yeah, it's gonna be much better. All right, I worked on that guy. It'll work on everyone. Seeing 2 more Broadway shows. Jeez, what, are you married to this person? That's quite a vacay, man. Quite a vacay. You're a keeper, Mingo. Straight up keeper. Hey, thanks, buddy. Good to see you. Welcome aboard. Yeah, just cooking some Corsairs. Just kind of working as I go, and I was getting a little concerned about their raised up hand insignia not showing well enough. So I'm just dropping a little bit of scarlet ink in the recesses of it. It's definitely proving to like bring the shape out a little better. Good call, me. Good call. I win this one. Just dab it in there as you go. Be nice and gentle. Just let the surface tension on it, capillary mumbo jumbo, do its thing. You can sort of see that. Like now, at least the detail of the hand shows out a little bit more. We met in the theater of our high school. Hot. Yep. Could you paint red like a baller? Thanks, buddy. Well, have an excellent rest of your vacay. Wish your wife my best. And we'll see you when you get back. I've come a long way, Mingo. A long, long way. What a journey. Yeah. Now, whoop, that's a little bit much. Now the details showing through. There we go. I should do every one of these. Yeah, that's right. The butt touching's a fundamental part of the journey. You're allowed to do that when you have a hotel room. So I've heard. So many red corsairs. This guy didn't get a hand. He's safe. It's been nonstop. New York will do that to you. Good night, buddy. It is neat against like all black. You can definitely see it. Boop. Getting that insignia to pop. Well, at least I don't have to be concerned about that anymore. It was bothering me the whole time. Now it don't. You just take that ink and just dab where those recesses are. Sometimes you gotta like pull it along a little bit. Just get it to scooch into every little spot. Then you're good. Not too shabby. All right. That step is done. Brush a good washing. Ink is not hard to wash out, but it does seep very quickly, which is why I'm using it essentially like a wash right now. It goes right. So while it seeps off the brush into those little crevices and stuff, it also seeps right up the brush all the way to the base. So like you don't want to really work with ink on a brush all that long before you get in there and give things a proper bath. There we go. Give it a squeeze. I think I got most of that garbage out of there. All right, return to this guy. Figure out what color hair he's going to have at some point. But for right now, we're going to keep on keeping on with brass. Dry this brush off a little bit. I always have a little piece of paper lying around that you can dab extra off of. Brass tacks. Gently. That Vox grill. I feel like if I ever opened a restaurant, I might be very tempted to just call it Vox Grill. And then if I did that, probably spend all my money getting Space Marine power armor on every waiter and waitress. Have them all talk through Vox Grills. It's tempting. It's, I just need to hit the lottery and make it feasible, but gonna need wide doorways. Only need wide throughways and doorways in the back though, because you like have the wait staff come from the back, but they can never leave out the front door. It's true though. You don't end up with a lot of space for tables when you have Space Marines waltzing through. But they can carry a lot of stuff in one run, which is pretty nice. Careful not to spin this guy all the way around. Good call, though, on the proper restaurant research. Like, here's what you're going to need to actually do that, practically speaking. Bunch of Death Guard. Open up the Soylent Green Grill. Yeah. Bunch of Death Guard, like, just working the line. Bunch of old school, tough as nails line cooks. No nonsense. Soylent Green Grill. It's made out of people. This guy's shiny. But this guy is like the champ of the crew, which is why he's got a fist. So it's fitting that he's a little bit more blingy. My hands are starting to get shaky. We're getting there, folks. Get the edge of this. Oh, dude, you're going to be so happy. Be a happy red Corsair. Right, now we got to scooch in there and be a little dangerous with this paint. There we go. There we go. Always find an angle. Got the wrist on that. Touch up. Little touch up. Showtime with Wolf. Awesome. Sounds good, man. Thanks a bunch for hanging. And I'll catch you sometime soon. Screwed that up a little bit. I'm going to live with it. Better. I do realize I failed you and I never got in touch about setting up Tabletop Simulator. A terrible person I am. Of course, I had no time to do it, so it is what it is. Right, some of this gun's getting brassed up. That's pretty cool there. Get the spikes on it and stuff. Maybe accidentally paint too much of it. It'll look fine from 3 feet. Get this little nubbin down here. Oh, yeah. Do that in brass. Sweet. Nubbin is the official Munitorum lingo for what that piece of the weapon is. Brass up his piece of something that holds his top knot up. Oh, yeah. Good living. This guy's just happy to have his job. Get out there every day, pillage. All right, brass this up too. Oh, yeah. The old chaos symbol. Representing. Right up to those teeth. Right up to those teeth. And get that little spike on top. This is definitely going to need 2 passes. There's a lot of detail in here, and like I just want to get the first pass cleanly on a lot of the big stuff. Not worry too much about 100% perfect coverage. But there is a lot of in between, and like these spikes don't sit flat on there. A lot of stuff to dip around. I have no illusions of getting this right the first time in terms of coverage. That's fine. It's going to need 2 coats no matter what. Zoop. The symbol-y stuff in there, I actually don't want to completely just like slop in a bunch of color. I want to leave some of it black. Some of it so the pattern stands out a little bit. Do it all metal, it'll just get shine blinded. Same up here. Just like scooch it through, not apply too much pressure. Just get kind of like dry brushing. Just get the most raised schnibbits. Look-see. These two little skulls over here. Those are skulls? I'm guessing they're skulls. Well, there's definitely one skull right there. Got him. These little side boys. Yeah, there. That's an awkward angle, but we'll find a way to make it work. Alrighty. All right. Well, we've hit that point in the night where my eyes no longer function well enough for me to accurately do my job, and my back's tired. I had a lot of lugging stuff around today. So I'm going to peace out. I don't know actually how to raid from this interface because I'm cross-streaming through new stuff. So I'm going to just dump you guys off on the side of the road. But it has been fun. We made good progress. We got a lot of metallics done. Figured out how to make that hand pop properly. And we continue this journey of a sharp of working on our Red Corsairs. I mean, next time I'm probably going to go back to working on regs and try to get all the guys that aren't completely redded up. They'll be good. We'll do it. Anyhow, you guys are the best. Thanks for hanging.